Hi, and welcome to today's webinar. The topic is how to reach online success without paying a fortune. Welcome again. I'm Jonathan and I'm your host for today's webinar. I run these social M's together with my sister Susanna, and I will get more into what these social M's do and who we are in a second. But first, let's see if you started attending the right webinar for you. I don't want to waste your time. You are in the right place if you want to start a blog or really any online business and want to take it to success. You want to give your existing online business a boost. You want to take your existing offline business and give it a boost through online marketing. Or you have already tried to make sense of the massive amount of information you found online about online marketing, but were frustrated and didn't know where to start. If any of this is true for you, you are in the right place, and I guarantee you will learn something new today that's going to help you tremendously in your business. And here's who we are. Although I guess most of you already know that. I'm Jonathan. I run These Social M's together with my sister Susanna, and These Social M's is a popular marketing blog and a marketing service company. We offer social media marketing consulting, online courses and books. We are also known as social media marketing influencers. We market all of our services and products through our marketing blog, and the process we are using to generate traffic, clients and sales is what you are going to learn today. But let's start with an overview over what you'll learn today. You will learn why blogs are absolutely mandatory for low-budget online success, and we will discuss how to start blogging regularly. We will also discuss how to get massive amounts of web traffic for your blog without paying money for it. For this, I will give you our foolproof social media strategy that you can implement step by step into your business right after this webinar. I will also give you some awesome SEO tactics for keyword research and link building that will increase your SEO results quickly. These are advanced tactics, but I will break them down for you into easy to follow steps. And I will also teach you how to use email marketing and automation effectively to convert your web traffic into clients and sales. We won't get into advertising today. Advertising is not part of a low budget process. It's great to scale business with advertising when you've got your funnel figured out already, but it's not so great when you're starting out. If you stay until the end, you will get the webinar slides, which include the step-by-step guides for various of the tactics I will describe today, so stay until the end. But before we get into all this, I want to tell you about our story, because we didn't start out successful. It wasn't like we were beginning to make massive amounts of money on day one. Quite the contrary. We lost a lot of money and made some massive mistakes before we finally reached the stage we are at today. And we really want to help you not make the same mistakes we did. As I already said before, Susanna and I have been doing business for the past 7 years. But we started to think about becoming entrepreneurs together long before that. We always wanted to be entrepreneurs, partly because we were unhappy about the lives we already had, and partly because we felt that this was, well, what we were born for. We always discussed business ideas, but we never started our business until we finally had our, let's call it a now or never moment. And in 2010, we started our first business. The company we founded in 2010 was called Explore B2B. And Explore B2B was a publishing site for businesses. They published their content for free on our site, and we created the world's largest business content magazine from their content. We made sure they got an audience for the content they were publishing. It was a bit like BuzzFeed, but without all the cats. We didn't succeed with anything right from the start. I still wish I could tell you that Explore B2B was an instant success, but it wasn't. When we launched our first prototype for the German market, it totally bombed. It took us a year to get to 1,000 users for a free service. And the reason why it took us so long was that we didn't know how good marketing works. Really, we had absolutely no clue. This was back in 2010, and online and social media marketing was still fairly new. There weren't any easy to follow guides, and we had to work out everything ourselves. But we still could get some people to believe in us and our business, and we managed to get quite a bit of funding in 2011. We took that money so that we could internationalize our platform and professionalize our marketing. From that point onwards, Explore B2B wasn't a low-budget business anymore. And as you're going to see soon, that wasn't a good thing. But for a while, things looked really good for us. We managed to run a working marketing strategy that cost us almost no money at all, and almost all of our money we could invest into the technology and didn't have to keep it for marketing. Here's the success numbers we reached with Explore B2B. In the end, we had 50,000 published articles on the site, 80,000 registered users, and 500,000 page views per month. We got more than 100 articles daily, and we were growing exponentially. But while this looks really good on paper, there are a couple of problems with these numbers. First, part of the funding we got was a loan. And that meant that our company was already in debt. We also had trouble keeping our background technology at a level that could keep up with our growth. And at some point, all of our money was spent. But the biggest problem of all was our revenues really sucked. There really isn't any other way to describe this. Explore B2B was a typical growth-first startup. And that means we were going to be in a spiral of needing more money with more growth, and that good revenues were only to appear far in the future. Kind of like Facebook or Amazon, they all work like this in the beginning. And when we needed another round of funding, we weren't able to get it. This is quite normal for startups of this kind. 60% to 90% of growth-first startups fail. And I'm not complaining, that was a risk we took. However, to this day, I wonder what would have happened if we had done this thing differently, if we had worked out our marketing strategy sooner, if we had gotten another funding round, and so on. Because Explore B2B could really have worked. It was a good concept and it could have worked, but it didn't. And in 2014, we had to accept defeat. Explore B2B went bankrupt. But when you decide to become an entrepreneur, you don't give up. Even when you're out of money and you are unsure how to get food on the next day, you pick yourself up from the ground and you get something going again. And that is what we did. When we began to see signs that Explore B2B was maybe going to fail, we started a blog. And that blog was The Social Amps. And in a way, the end of Explore B2B was the start of something new. Because The Social Amps became our new business. The Social Amps became the marketing blog and service company that allowed us to create a business based on what we had learned from our Explore B2B experience. So, what did we learn? We learned how to get marketing right, and that online marketing doesn't need to cost a lot of money. We learned that a business doesn't need to start with a big investment, and that it is totally possible to build a business online without investing almost anything. Here's what happened when we closed our funding round for Explore B2B. When you run a funded startup, everyone wants your money. PR agencies want to make you big by getting you into TechCrunch. SEO agencies tell you they will make you big. Even Google themselves came knocking on our door and wanted to cooperate with us on advertising. We tried a lot of these things and we wasted a lot of money on them. And we learned an important lesson. These things never work if you cannot provide a good basis with your company yourself. And that is what you need to achieve yourself first. Don't get me wrong, all of these things do work when you have built your business and now want to scale. But when you haven't figured out your funnel for yourself yet, you absolutely need to do this first. Your business needs to become successful to a certain degree before you should start trying to scale it. And this is a mistake I've seen many entrepreneurs do. They try to scale a business before it is actually a business. And until you reach that point, you need to do as much yourself as you can and keep your burn rate as low as possible. This is also the reason why I'm leaving advertising, like advertising on Facebook or Google Ads, completely out of today's lesson. If you don't have the rest of your business and your funnel worked out, you are only going to lose a lot of money on them. When I relate the lessons we learned to our current business, it really comes down to we build everything in our business ourselves and we generate all of our web traffic ourselves. We don't pay for traffic. At least not if we aren't sure how exactly that traffic is going to convert. But of course, you can't have everything for free. Web hosting costs money, some tools cost money, and so on. But you should always evaluate what you pay for and see if it is really worth it. Starting something and turning it into a business can be done with expenses below $50 a month. As said before, we don't pay for traffic as long as the money doesn't come from active revenues, and even when we do, we rather spend less than more money on it. Another thing I would absolutely pay for is knowledge. If I could go back in time and learn everything I've learned by simply paying a bit of money 7 years earlier, I absolutely would. Again, everything you see on our websites was created on our own. And I would like to give you an overview over how much we could build ourselves and how much you can build yourself if you are willing to put in the work. So what is it that we built? We've got our blog, which is built on WordPress, which really isn't hard. You could start your own blog in about 15 minutes as well. We've got our social media audience, which was also grown by manual labor the whole way through. Not a single follower was paid for. If you are going to invest the time into it, you can do that too with the tactics I'm going to teach you today in this webinar. And we've got all our products and we built everything on our websites ourselves. We wrote and edited our ebooks ourselves, and even our complete advanced course system, the Online Growth Masterclass, was completely developed by us and us alone. The Masterclass is really the most complicated product we built to date and we are really proud of it. But the truth is, you can do this too. And you don't even need a lot of technical knowledge to do it. You just have to be willing to learn. The kinds of products we build can be built by everyone today. And this approach led to much bigger success than we ever had with Explore B2B. We reached 50,000 monthly page views in less than 6 months. We became a respected resource on various top lists in the same time, and to this day we are regularly in the top 100 marketing content and social media marketing blogs on various top lists. One example. Onalytica is a social media influencer identification company, and it ranked The Social Amps as the 8th most important brand in social media marketing after just 8 months, back in 2015. But the most important part is, this time our revenues don't suck, which is the most important part in any business. Which really brings us to what worked the second time that didn't work the first time. And the answer to that is, we had the knowledge how to do it. Building an online business is really not that hard when you know what to do, but it's very hard when you don't. This time we started with what we did best, focused on building a smaller community of people who really trusted us, and then scaled. Now that we've covered how we got where we are today, I want to dive into the low-budget online marketing process and the marketing skills you need to build your own online business. But before we dive into specific tactics, I will give you an overview over how good online marketing works before we get into those specific tactics and processes that you can implement right away. Again, if you stay until the end, you don't need to take notes, you are going to get the slides. When you first start online, either for your existing business or with a new business, you are faced with a lot of new technologies. You may not know what SEO is or how social media marketing differs from just having a Facebook account, and that is totally okay. We all started like that. It just means that you need to learn a lot of new concepts in a very short time. And most people that I worked with really face one simple problem. They just don't know how to start. And that is exactly what I would like to change for you right now. Online marketing success can be broken down into 3 core elements: traffic, relationship, and sales. Traffic is how to get people to your website, because if nobody knows you, your web business really cannot work. A relationship is necessary to build trust within your potential clients so that they will eventually buy something you recommend. And sales is the final process of convincing someone to buy from you or your business partners. And when you start online, one key is to understand that you really need to build your success step by step. First, you need to build traffic to your website, because if nobody knows you, nobody can have a relationship with you. And when you've gained some web traffic, you start building a relationship. You capture people's email addresses and start sending regular newsletters, and you start building your followers and update them through your social accounts. And through that relationship, you can finally reach a stage where people trust you and where you can sell products to your audience. This really comes down to online success is the accumulation of small successes until they form one big success story. I know, often when you're starting out, you dream of that one big success moment, which you will look back from the future and say, this changed my life. But this won't happen. Instead, you will have to work your way through little steps and little successes. And one day you will look back and see the massive amount of things you achieved and that brought you to success. It's a matter of putting a lot of small elements into place until they work just right. And that's what we are going to get into right now. Here are some of the elements you need for your success story. The first concept I want to discuss here is targeting, which really means making sure that the target audience you reach is really part of your overall target audience. 100 followers from your target audience and interested in your services is always better than 1,000 followers who will never buy your product. This means you need to make sure that you always know your target audience and have your ideal customer in mind when you do all the things that I will teach you in a second, which is all I want to say about targeting right now. With that out of the way, let's talk about content and content marketing. Here's why content is so important for anything you do online. Content gives you the power to gain traffic for your web business absolutely for free. Traffic from social media is always going to be generated for content. SEO traffic is always going to be focused on valuable and helpful content and not products directly. And that is why blogs are such a powerful tool for online marketing. They allow you to build a constant flow of new content, and they provide you with a content hub for your website. That is the reason why, for instance, marketing pros like ourselves or Neil Patel or anybody else in the online marketing space involve blogs in every project we handle. Neil Patel, for instance, used blogs for every single of his various multi-million-dollar companies because they give him a place for all the content in his content marketing activities. So if you haven't started a blog yet, you should really start a blog today. Let this webinar be your wake-up call. Setting a blog up is really easy and can be accomplished in less than 15 minutes. I won't give you a complete guide here, but here are some guidelines. Don't invest money into your blog. You can do it all on your own. Invest your time and learn everything step by step. And don't try to get an agency or a professional to do the work for you. It's a waste of money that you can use better elsewhere. Use WordPress and choose a mobile-ready theme that will define the look of your blog. Remember to use a simple setup when you're starting out. And set up Google Analytics and Search Console, which are free tools provided by Google. Without them, you won't be able to see how much traffic you get to your blog. One thing to remember is you need a good hosting service, one that isn't expensive but also reliable. Our recommendation is Cloudways, and since we are Cloudways affiliates, you can get $15 in free hosting if you sign up with the bonus code on the slide. If you already have a website or business, integrate your blog into your website. And if this is a new project, make your blog a huge part of your website. Once you've set up your blog, it's really all about knowing your target audience and regularly producing high-value content for your target audience. Always produce the best content you possibly can produce for them. Post at least twice a week, and don't worry, it will get easier with practice. Blogging is not something that needs to be complicated or is out of your reach. In fact, I believe everyone can learn to be a really excellent blogger. All you need is practice and persistence. What you really need to do is turn blogging into a daily habit. And when you start producing content for your blog, it's also time to start generating traffic to your blog. And we'll get into that right now. So let's talk about web traffic sources that you can use to bring visitors to your blog and in time to your products. And the first traffic source I recommend is social media and not SEO. This might be a surprise for some, but the reason for that is simple. Social media will get you results quicker. SEO takes quite a bit of time to start working and can take months before it really works. It's worth it, and we will get into SEO later, but the quickest results can be had through social media. When you first start generating traffic to your blog, we recommend focusing on 2 networks or a maximum of 3. The first network is Twitter, because Twitter is really the easiest network to build a targeted audience on, and because there are really conversations about everything on Twitter. And I will give you a fail-proof Twitter strategy in just a second, but let's talk about the other networks. The second network is really your choice. Examine the networks that are out there and choose the one network that seems to be the best fit for your audience. If you are in the B2B space, it might be LinkedIn. If you have a lot of visual content, you might choose Instagram. Choose a network that suits both you and your target audience perfectly. If you want to start with a third network right from the beginning, you can choose to be on Facebook. But don't put too much effort into Facebook. Facebook can be really tiring when you don't have money to spend. To win on Facebook without money, you need to focus on Facebook groups, for instance, that are relevant to your niche. And you really need to think outside of the box. You have to identify opportunities that are not based on money. And that might mean you don't have to spend so much time on your fan page and look at other features of Facebook. But let's focus a little bit more on Twitter. Here's a quick checklist to building an audience on Twitter, and this is the general process, and I will give you the tools you can use to make this really easy on the following slides. The first part of the process is you need to provide a lot of value with your account. If you have a lot of content on your own website, that is great and you can use that, but if you don't, you can still use this strategy by curating content from other blogs in your niche. You do that by researching the best blogs in your niche, and then you post 10 pieces of content on your Twitter account every day. This will make your Twitter account valuable to people in your target audience. And when your account provides a lot of value this way, it's time for step 2, and that's engaging in conversation. You will have to identify conversations around your topics on Twitter and engage in those conversations. Answer a few questions, ask some questions yourself, and get into the process of talking to people. And when you're doing that, here's the final piece of the puzzle, and it's called the follow-unfollow algorithm. And it's performed by following a few people active around your topics on Twitter every day, and then unfollowing those who didn't follow back after a few days. But keep in mind not to overdo this. Twitter does have its limits, and it will restrict your account if you go too far with the follow-unfollow strategy. And remember what I said about targeting. You always need to make sure your target is the right audience. A good way to do this with the follow-unfollow algorithm on Twitter is to research influencers in your niche and then follow their followers. This is the exact process almost all Twitter influencers, including Susanna and myself, but also including people like Jeff Bullas or Aaron Lee, used to grow to multiple hundreds of thousands of followers. But it gets even better. Because a very cool trick, when done right on Twitter, are direct messages and welcome tweets. And you can send these to new followers, and you can also automate these. But there's more to it than just sending sales messages. If you just try to sell your products through these, you won't be successful. And people will unfollow you instantly as well. Instead, you need to send them something for free which they really want. It's an engagement tactic and not a sales tactic. It can be as simple as a blog post. For Explore, we use direct messages, for instance, for Explore B2B's rapid growth. And we used a simple direct message inviting them to our platform because they really wanted our platform and really wanted to use it. It was a really simple idea, but it got us tens of thousands of users. Now, I told you that I would give you some tools that will make this process really easy for you, and here we go. The first tool I want to recommend is Buffer. Buffer allows you to schedule tweets in advance, meaning that you can schedule all the tweets with your content once in the morning and they will be sent out throughout the day. And what's best is you can use Buffer for free and you don't need the paid version of Buffer when you're starting out. You can use the free version and it will be absolutely fine for you. For finding and following conversations on Twitter and taking part in conversations on Twitter, I recommend TweetDeck, which is also a free tool that allows you to monitor conversations in real time. And for your follow-unfollow activity, there are also a lot of tools that can help, and the tool I recommend is ManageFlitter. There is a free version for ManageFlitter, but for the full benefit you will have to use the paid version. For automated direct messages and welcome tweets, the best tool to use is StatusBrew. That's really all you need to know for rapid growth on Twitter. Let's talk about cross-promotion, which is the secret that almost all social media influencers use to build their audiences on multiple networks fast. They cross-promoted their different social media profiles from different networks. So when you're focusing on Twitter in the beginning, you can use this to promote your social media profiles on other networks as well. For instance, you can use a welcome tweet to let them know you're also on LinkedIn, or you could invite them to take part in a discussion on Facebook. When you figure out ways to do this, all your audiences will grow rapidly and you will profit massively from that. This was a complete social media marketing strategy for growing your traffic from social media. But now let's get to the next huge topic for low-budget web traffic, and that's SEO. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, or in other words, optimizing your site and content so that you get the most traffic from these search engines. SEO is the craft of optimizing your site so that it will appear as close to the top of Google's search results for your keywords as possible. And of course, these keywords should have a lot of traffic on them and again be targeted at your site's niche and your topics. SEO is primarily based around two concepts: the keywords on your site and the amount and the quality of links to your site. Let's examine what you have to do for SEO in general. SEO mainly consists of three activities. The first one is preparing your site for SEO. This includes installing a few plugins and making sure your site loads fast. We've got a massive article on our blog covering this aspect of SEO, and I don't want to get really in-depth with that here. The second activity is on-site SEO, which means researching keywords your site can or could rank for and then producing content for these keywords. And the third activity is link building, which you have to do so Google recognizes that your site is probably valuable because many other sites link to it. Let's go over some parts of both of these activities. The concept behind content creation for SEO is not hard to understand. And here's the general overview. First, you need to identify keywords that have traffic and you can rank for, and then you need to create content for these keywords, and then you need to optimize the content for these keywords. For optimization, you can use the Yoast SEO plugin for WordPress, which is really a massive help for any SEO activity on WordPress sites. But identifying keywords you can rank for is really not that simple. You first have to do general keyword research in your niche, and then you have to identify your competitors for the top spots for searches regarding these keywords in Google search results. And then you need to analyze your competitors. How many links do they have? And how many links do you have to build to get one of the top spots? What you need to do here is called a full competitive analysis for your whole scope of keywords. It does sound complicated, and it really is, but there are some tools that will do most of the work for you. And let's start with a free and very powerful tool. It's called Keyword Planner. Keyword Planner is part of Google's AdWords program and is intended for ad campaigns originally, but very useful for SEO as well. Just open a free AdWords account and you are ready to use it. It will give you the number of searches on any keyword, the ad competition on the keyword, and it will also give you related keywords. And using Keyword Planner is really a huge help for getting a really huge list of keywords that you can examine further. After finding a number of keywords through this tool, go ahead and enter them into Google directly and note down your competitors for the top spots. This will give you a huge list of competitors that you can examine in the following step. Next, I will recommend two tools that will analyze your competitors for you. These tools are basically spy tools that will tell you how many links your competitors have, which sites are linking to them, and for which keywords these site ranks. These tools will allow you to have deep insights into your competitors' strategies and use this for your advantage. The first tool is Ahrefs and the next tool is SEMrush. Both of these tools really help a lot, and I recommend getting at least the free trial of one of these tools to do your first competitive analysis. Using these tools is like having direct insights into what your competitors are doing. Now, I want to talk about a question probably a lot of you are having right now. What if your niche is competitive? You are new to the game and Google right now doesn't seem to know you exist. Can you still rank? And the answer is yes. Just look at our blog, The Social M's. We are in the online marketing niche, which is the hardest and most competitive niche on the web, and we were late to the game. The trick is not to rank for the high value keywords that everyone wants to rank for. Instead, you are going for what is called the long tail. The long tail consists of keywords that are combinations of multiple words, longer keywords, including the shorter key phrase you are trying to rank for, and so on. Each of these keywords doesn't have as much traffic as the high value keywords. But as they are easier to rank for, you can rank for a lot more of them. And often people searching for these keywords are much better traffic because they searched for very specific keywords. There are many ways to identify long tail keywords you can rank for. You can use Keyword Planner, for instance, but that's really complicated. Here's a very simple trick to find long tail keywords. You Google the high traffic keyword you are interested in and then scroll down to the bottom of the results page, and the results page on Google has a section with related searches. And these related searches are often really good long-tail keywords you can rank for. Now, with that covered, let's move on from keyword research to link building. And again, let's start with an overview. Like before, you should use Ahrefs or SEMrush to analyze your competitors and identify the links your competitors have built for themselves. This will give you an overview over how many links you need to rank and which sites you can probably build links on. But you can't just go to other people's sites and ask for links. You have to give them something in return, which is part of any link building strategy that works. So here are a few tactics you can use to build great links to your site. The first high-value link building strategy I want to talk about today is guest blogging. You can offer high-quality blog posts to other blogs in your niche, and when they publish your post, you get a link back to your site. For example, on our blog, we publish a lot of guest posts. When the content is good, why wouldn't we? We need to produce less content this way. The other blogger gets a link, everybody wins. Guest blogging is also a great strategy to build your own reputation, because you are spreading your name and your content to audiences that don't know you yet. So actually you build your business on multiple fronts with this strategy. The second strategy I want to talk about is the broken link strategy. And this one is also based on a very simple idea. New websites get created daily, but other websites disappear, and you can use this fact. When websites disappear, all links to these websites are broken. And you can use this to produce content that could replace these links and then inform other webmasters that these links are broken and that you have content to replace those links. These site owners have an interest in repairing broken links because it's good for their websites as well, and that gives you a chance to produce really great links for your site. There are some tools that can help you with this. For instance, you can use the Chrome extension Check My Links to identify broken links to any web page. The third and really awesome strategy to gain links for your blog is the interview and expert roundup strategy. And again, it's a very simple idea. People like to be called experts and they like to be asked for interviews as experts. And you can use this by interviewing people from your niche and asking them to promote the interview in return. You can take this one step further by doing an expert roundup post based on the opinions by many experts and then asking all of them to promote this post. This strategy works really wonders if you do it right, and you can gain many high-quality links through it. There are many more link building strategies, but for now I think this is enough, and we can finally get to the last and maybe most important part of the low-budget online marketing process, and that's email marketing. Email is where a lot of the low-budget online marketing processes really come together. If you remember the 3 elements of low-budget online marketing from the beginning of this webinar, they were traffic, relationship, and sales. Until now, we've been talking about getting traffic to your site, but email is where both the relationship and the selling comes into play, which is what makes email marketing so important for any modern sales funnel. Until now, everything was about getting visitors to your site, but only once. Email marketing, on the other hand, is responsible for getting visitors to return to your website, and it is also responsible for building a relationship to your potential customers. And it is also the most reliable traffic source for making conversions, or in other words, making sales. For everything that follows, you are going to need an email marketing tool. Our recommendation is Drip, which is what we use and what we recommend to you. And Drip is a full-blown marketing automation suite that is still relatively simple to use. The downside is that it's slightly more expensive, at least for new accounts, than other tools. As a slightly cheaper, but also a lot simpler solution with less advanced features, there's also Mailchimp, which will allow you to have up to 2,000 subscribers for free, but you are going to understand why we recommend Drip as soon as we start talking about automation. Now that we have the tool recommendations out of the way, let's talk about email marketing in general. Again, we have three phases. The lead generation phase, where you are getting visitors to subscribe to your email list. The lead nurturing phase, where you are constantly sending value to your subscribers to build a relationship to them. And then there's the sales phase, when a subscriber is ready to buy and you give him what he wants. These phases are all part of the customer journey of each lead, and that means they are a bit problematic. Every lead is different. It's often unclear whether a lead is still in the nurturing phase or ready to buy. And we'll talk about how to tackle this problem in a minute. But first, let's talk a little bit more about the lead generation process. How do you turn visitors into subscribers? Today, capturing email addresses is not as easy as it once was. People have become careful about their email addresses, and we all get it. There's a lot of spam out there. The way to counter this development is to basically pay website visitors to sign up for your newsletter, but not with money. You do that by providing something for free, and that's called a lead magnet. But you also need to use a few optimized marketing tactics. And these are interstitials like pop-ups, page takeovers, hello bars, which pop up above your content. And the second really important tactic is landing pages. Let's talk about lead magnets, interstitials, and landing pages a bit. What are lead magnets? A lead magnet is a free piece of content that you give to a subscriber in return for an email address. It needs to be a piece of content that your average target audience member really wants, but it doesn't need to be a lot of work. A good lead magnet can be a simple cheat sheet, a white paper, or even a full-blown industry report. Important is only that your audience really wants it, that it promises a lot of value, and that it delivers on that value, because you don't want to disappoint a new subscriber right from the start. Now let's talk about how to use interstitials and landing pages. These are lead generation tactics you cannot live without today. I know you may annoy a few people if you use interstitials, but the truth is most people who visit your site will never come back if you don't. Pop-ups, page takeovers, hello bars and similar tools are best used for regular web visitors on your website. You need to try to find a good combination of them that gives you the best conversion rates without annoying too many regular visitors. If you optimize your site for conversions, you can get a conversion rate of web traffic to subscriber between 5 and 10%, and in some cases even more. Landing pages, on the other hand, are great for driving traffic to your lead magnet directly. For instance, if you've mentioned your lead magnet in a guest post. And you don't want to code them yourself, so here are two tool recommendations. The first one is Zumo, and Zumo is a tool you can integrate easily into any web page to generate leads. And Zumo will allow you to use about any kind of interstitial there is. Zumo has a free version, but the paid version is really well worth the price. The second tool I want to recommend here is Lead Pages. And Lead Pages allows you to easily build professional looking landing pages based on their huge library of templates. And all of these templates are already optimized for giving you the best conversion rates. And that is what makes Lead Pages so important for online businesses. Lead Pages is really highly recommended. Now that you know how to gain subscribers, it's time to talk about lead nurturing for a bit. Lead nurturing is the process of constantly sending value in the form of regular updates to subscribers. This is really not hard once you beat your fear of losing subscribers or annoying them. The goal is to show that you are trustworthy and that you send value to them constantly. And the first thing to remember is that you need to start sending newsletters regularly to subscribers as soon as you are collecting email addresses. The minimum amount of newsletters to send to your subscribers is once a week. If you send any less, they will start to forget about you. And getting a newsletter that you don't remember signing up for is far more annoying than getting a mediocre newsletter that you remember subscribing to. So in case you haven't been sending emails because you thought you might annoy your subscribers, you are only going to annoy them more if you only send newsletters, for instance, once a year. Here are a few ideas for your newsletters. You can send every blog post you write as a newsletter. This alone should allow you to send 2 newsletters every week if you remember our blogging tips. But you can also send every subscriber the freebies that he didn't get yet, or you could even send a weekly update on the best curated content from your niche. All you need to remember is that you need to bring value to your subscribers constantly. Sending multiple newsletters every week should really not be that hard once you started producing content. Now, with nurturing explained, let's move on to the interesting part, generating sales and making money. And there are various ways of doing this. As I told you before, every subscriber is different. There's no way of telling when a specific subscriber is ready to buy a product. But over a bigger amount of subscribers, you can identify patterns. And you can set up automations that will offer your products on autopilot. There are also ways to make subscribers more likely to buy your main expensive products and to increase your customer lifetime value after they bought your main product. These are called tripwires and upsells. And finally, there's also the product launch sequence for selling a product. We won't get in depth into the launch sequence in this webinar, but essentially launches are a sequence of extreme nurturing emails using high quality content, followed by a sequence of sales emails for the launched product. After a launch, you close the product and the opportunity completely. This way you use mental triggers like scarcity, anticipation, and authority to your advantage. The undisputed master of the launch is Jeff Walker, but I myself am not that much of a fan of launches in general. You can only repeat them once in a while, and that means you are taking quite a risk. If a launch doesn't sell enough, you are in trouble. Let's have a look at the process we implement to offer products to our subscribers regularly. And after that, we are going to have a look at how to implement upsells and tripwires. Here's how we tackle the problem of how to make sure a subscriber gets sold to at the right time. We do this the following way. Every subscriber gets our regular newsletters, but we've also got an automation set up that offers one of our products to each of our subscribers every 5 to 10 emails. And once it has gone through all of our products, it just simply starts at the beginning again. The risk of annoying subscribers this way is relatively low because they're getting a lot of value from our regular newsletters. And let's face it, you all know that we have to earn money as well. Now, let's talk about tripwires and upsells. A tripwire is a low price offer that beats the fear people have when paying you money. Because there's a psychological barrier that is keeping a lot of people from buying the first time from a new seller. And it often helps to overcome this barrier first before you offer a truly expensive product. And once you've turned a subscriber into a client for the tripwire product, it is a lot easier to sell a more expensive product to the same subscriber. Upsells, on the other hand, are there to maximize your profits after you sold your main product. Again, tripwires are massively important for modern sales funnels. So important, in fact, that even large companies use them constantly. Here is, for instance, an example of Amazon using a tripwire. They give new parents a free baby gift box worth $35, but only to Prime members. And a Prime membership isn't free. Amazon gets new Prime members, and Amazon also gets recurring revenues because people will return to their site and buy more baby products and other things as well. And now here's an example of how an upsell sequence can look like. After you sold your first main product, the online course for $200 for instance, you instantly offer your client that he can upgrade for a 2-hour coaching session for $300. And whether he took you up on that offer or not, a week later you are also going to offer a lower priced product for $100. The idea is that all of these products are connected and make sense to be bought in unison. This way, this makes absolute sense for the client to spend even more money on your product. And now, if all of this seemed very hard to do and complicated, all of this can and has to be automated. And with that, let's talk about the final aspect of email marketing, and that is email marketing automation. Doing all what I have just told you by manually sending each email is absolutely impossible. That is where automation comes in. Automation means setting up sequences of emails and logic that allows you to automatically move subscribers through an email funnel based on the decisions he made. And this is why I really recommend Drip as a tool, because Drip really makes this easy. Drip uses something they call workflows, and workflows are basically a graph representing how a lead moves through an email automation, and you can split the graph into different paths depending on how a lead behaves. If, for example, a lead opened your last email about dog training, you can automatically follow up with a few sales letters on dog training courses and equipment. And that is the general concept. With these features, you can really set up a complete sales funnel that runs on autopilot and makes money for you on autopilot. Now, I want to finish this webinar with one final tip about sales. Start building your products at the top of your sales funnel. That means start selling your expensive products before you start building your tripwires. It is far easier to make a living on selling 10 expensive products a month than selling 100 tripwires. And it is also far easier to sell 4 $500 products than $2,000 worth of ebooks. Okay, this really concludes the whole process for low budget online marketing and low budget sales. But I want to close with a few remarks. Please remember that this is not just a theory. This is the exact process we used to build our business when we had absolutely no money to spend. Remember, we had just had to close our first business when we started The Social M's. We had debts. What worked for us can absolutely work for you in every situation. And you can use the exact same process whether you have an existing business trying to expand online or a fresh business that has just started. It works over and over again for us and for our clients. Here's what this process is really all about. You can use this process to build a business with absolutely limited resources. This process, when applied with care and correctly, can help you become financially independent as long as you are willing to invest the time and hard work it takes. And this process is absolutely for you if you are not ready to invest thousands and tens of thousands of dollars into your business. I'm not sure why you turned up today. You may be fed up with your day job and wanted to see whether you could actually start an online business, or you may be trying to run a business on the side, but nothing really seems to make it take off. Or you may already be running a business, but want to scale it using modern marketing methods. Whatever it is, I hope you take one thing from this presentation today. Online marketing success is really achievable for everyone who is willing to invest the work and not the money. But online success is the accumulation of small successes, and to do this without problems, you might need some help, knowledge, and advice. The reality is, there's a lot more to learn about low-budget online marketing than I can teach you today in this webinar. And when I say a lot, I mean that. There's a lot more I wanted to fit into this webinar, but I just couldn't. Even if I had all day or even all week, it wouldn't be enough time. And that leads to the question, when you want to continue on this path, what are your options? The first option is to read every little piece of information you find online, to sort through it all, and to carve your own way through this problem. You will probably spend years trying to figure this out, and you will spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on this. And the truth is, you will probably give up before you reach success. Or you can choose the second option and sign up for our new training program, the Online Growth Masterclass. We've developed the Online Growth Masterclass to cover everything you need for reaching online success, from the start to the point where you have a profitable online business. Our masterclass will teach you all the concepts in detail, provide you with easy to follow action plans, provide you with daily tasks and exercises, and allow you to follow a proven process for reaching online success. All of these courses are designed so All of the courses in the masterclass are designed so you can learn and work at your own speed. We will never be placing artificial boundaries on you, like only giving you new content every other day or something like that. We give you everything at once. We allow you to learn what you need to learn when you need it. We don't believe that it would be fair to our students to place boundaries on you, and we believe you should not have to wait for something you paid for. The Online Growth Masterclass is not a video course. We all know there are many online courses out there that promise you to lead you to success by following the advice of a 5-hour video course, for instance. Do you really believe that all there is to online marketing is 5 hours of knowledge? That simply isn't the case. And I know it's not the case because I've been there. Susanna and I spent hundreds and thousands of hours to work this out for you ourselves. And we give you all that we've learned in this course. We will even update the masterclass in the future when we've come up with new processes and learned new things, and you will get all the updates for free. And delivering a course system that really covers all aspects and is still easy to follow is really not possible with video courses. So here's what you get. The Online Growth Masterclass consists of 9 course modules. The first module, Social Media Growth Basics, is designed to bring everyone to the same level, while also giving you enough knowledge to dive right in and see first results in 4 weeks. Then you can continue with any of the other courses, which include our in-depth blog SEO course, our Twitter marketing course, our content marketing course, email marketing, targeting, individual networks, guest blogging, and our KPI and measuring course. One question we get asked very often is, I'm not a beginner, do I need to do the whole masterclass to get value out of it? And the answer is no. Feel free to skip to the parts that you need right now. If you want to do our SEO course first, go for it. I do, however, recommend that you start by at least giving our first module, the Social Media Growth Basics course, a look. Because I guarantee you are going to find something in it that is new to you and that will help you tremendously. And again, this first course module is designed to give you almost instant results. So if you are unhappy with your results right now, you should give this course a look right now. So how much will this cost you? What do you believe this should cost? This literally costs us hundreds of hours to create. And that doesn't even factor in the amount of hours we spend trying to find success for ourselves. This is the same step-by-step process we use to make these social M's a successful business. So how much do you think we should ask for this? I give you a hint, we're not asking thousands of dollars for this like some of our competitors do for less content. The regular price for the Online Growth Masterclass is $445, but for people attending this webinar, we are giving it away at the reduced price of $345. That's $100 in rebates. And we haven't even started talking about bonuses yet. In fact, if you act fast, we are going to include bonuses in the value of $180 as well. That means you get a total value of over $600, and even at $600, this would still be an absolute steal. This offer is only available to people who signed up for one of our webinars, and you only have 2 hours to get this package if you want the bonuses. We cannot leave this offer open for longer, and you are going to understand why when I explain what the bonuses are. The bonuses we include are our 3 books, which are also a steal for the prices we sell them at, and they go for a total price of $30. But we also include a coaching call of 30 minutes with both Susanna and me on the line. And for those of you who never did a consulting call with us, we do not just get on the line with you and talk to you for 30 minutes. We prepare ourselves well and we solve at least one of your problems. This 30-minute call alone is valued at $150 at our current rates, so in total you get bonuses of $180, but only if you buy this in the next 2 hours starting now. Here's the thing, we cannot offer these bonuses forever. We cannot do unlimited coaching calls, simply because days don't have unlimited time. So to get this offer, you only have 2 hours and the time is starting to count down right now. Once these 2 hours are up, you can still get the masterclass for the reduced price for the following 2 days, but you won't get these bonuses. So you better act now. You can sign up for the masterclass by clicking on the button on the right of your screen. It will open the sign up for the masterclass in another window, so you won't get taken out of this webinar. And there's another feature I want to mention here, and that is really important to me. And that feature is discussions in the masterclass. Every course module has a discussions tab, and you can and should use this to ask questions. Every course member will be able to see these and answer, and of course the idea is that this will become a thriving community. But one thing you pay for when buying this program is access. Access to Susanna and myself. We will monitor everything that happens in these discussions, and we will be there to help you. We will answer ourselves. So even when you've already used your coaching call, you still have access to Susanna and myself. But I get it. There are a lot of shady online products out there, and I've seen many of these myself. So we want to assure you about one thing. If we cannot help you, we don't want your money. And that is why we want to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. If you want a refund, you simply need to send us an email and we will refund you at once. So this whole thing is risk-free for you. You can simply buy this now, see if this is for you, and if it doesn't fit your needs, we will refund you before your credit card is due. When you buy the masterclass now, you get the masterclass and 2 bonuses, but only in the next 2 hours. This includes the complete Online Growth Masterclass, including all 9 modules that will take you from beginning marketer to successful pro. The package also includes our 3 ebooks in the value of $30 and a 30-minute consulting call with both of us. You get all this for the reduced price of $345 instead of $445 for the masterclass alone without bonuses. But if you want the whole package with all the bonuses, you have to act in the next 2 hours. After that, the reduced price will still be available for the next 2 days, but you won't get the bonuses. This package is an absolute steal, but we also include our 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can get in without any risk. If you want a refund in the first 30 days, you just have to write us an email and you don't even have to give us a reason. But you have to act fast in order to get this offer. And this will only be available for 2 days without the bonuses and for 2 hours with the bonuses. So how can you join and what happens when you join? Let me take you through the complete sign-up process really quickly. Just head over to awesome.thesocialms.com or click the link on the side of this webinar. Click on the button that says, I want to enroll now. Next, you can review the details of this membership again, and you will see all the bonuses and the price again. Review everything, and if you're happy, click on sign up. Next, you will need to fill in your account data, meaning your name, username and password. And once you've entered all this, you can proceed via Register My Account and you will then be taken to the payment page. There you can review everything again and initiate your payment through Buy Access Now. And that's really everything you need to do. Once you've completed all these steps, you will get instant access to the Online Growth Masterclass. So if you want to reach online marketing success without investing tens of thousands of dollars and without spending thousands of hours on trial and error, get the Online Growth Masterclass now for $345. Don't wait until the last minute. This offer won't be available forever. In fact, if you want to get it with the bonuses, you have to act within the next 2 hours. Thank you all for being here today. Let's do a really short Q&A right now. So if you've got questions, just send them in and I will do my best to answer them. And if your question doesn't get covered in this Q&A, I will try to get back to all of you and send you the answers via email. So let's see what we've got here. Terry asks, if I buy the masterclass, how long is the coaching call valid? Can I buy now and take it when I run into trouble? And good question. I haven't really explained this. Yes, of course you can. Coaching calls don't expire. So if you buy now and come back in a year to get your coaching call, that's totally fine for us. I think that covers this question. What else do we have? Brian asks, I'm already implementing parts of this process, but I seem to lose a lot of time trying to find good content that other people created to share on social media. Are there ways to save time with that? And that really is an excellent question. What I typically suggest is to start with research and get the best blogs and news outlets, content outlets that are publishing content centered around your niche. And write them down and keep that in a list. You should end with a list between 10 and 100 content outlets. And when you have that list, you can really come back every morning and every day and get new content from that list. Once you've got an extensive list of content sources, it really all becomes easy. So let's do 2 more questions, I think. Here's a really good question from Ginny. I don't know how much time I will be able to spend in the masterclass. What happens if I fall behind? And Ginny, this is one of the great things about learning with an online course and learning with an online course that never expires. You don't fall behind at all. You learn at your own speed. When you buy the masterclass, you get access to all our content at once and forever. And also, should we ever decide to take the masterclass down, we will send you an offline copy of all our content, so you will never lose access to what you bought today. So the answer to your question, Ginny, is that you cannot fall behind, because it's not us who decides how fast you should move. It's all up to you. And here's a good question from Benedict. Benedict asks, I'm a developer and designer. Can I just design my landing pages myself without paying for an extra tool? And that's also a really good question. The answer is that you can, but probably you shouldn't. Professional landing pages are not just about creating great looking landing pages, they are about optimizing. Optimizing so that they convert well. There are loads of examples about landing pages improving massively after the color of a button has changed or just a few words have changed. The landing pages coming out of tools like Leadpages are not necessarily the best looking ones, but they are already optimized quite well for what you intend your visitor on this landing page should do. So if you're not a landing page expert, you may want to think about whether Leadpages is maybe still worth getting, even if you're a developer or a designer. Okay, there are more questions coming in, but I actually need to take a break, and I will try to answer all your questions that I get via email, and I will send you email questions. Also, if you want to get in touch with me, you can use the email address thesocialmarketers@googlemail.com to get in touch, and I will try to answer every email as soon as I can. Okay, everyone, keep in mind you've got less than 2 hours left to get the masterclass, including the bonuses. And I know that this is a bit unfair to you all, but I really cannot do more coaching calls. And yeah, and you've got 2 days if you think you don't need the bonuses. You've got 2 days to sign up for the masterclass, but I think you really want the bonuses. It was really great having you all in this webinar, and I hope you learned a lot. Please return for the next webinar, and I hope to see you all in the masterclass. Bye!